Government Affairs Update for March 19th, 2021 from ACEC. Today we are joined by Steve Hall, our SVP of Advocacy, to talk about what's going on in Washington related to the PPP program. Steve, what is going on right now? What can you update our members on about this program?
Jeff, as you know, this is our number one priority right now. We are looking forward to a very robust infrastructure agenda as the year progresses, but resolving this issue affecting our members that have PPP loans and do DOT work, and the misapplication of the FAR credits clause is something that has to happen. It has to happen now, and we're devoting every resource to it possible. And we've been lobbying on this heavily, as you know, and our members have as well. We've done grassroots engagement with member firms, with our state organizations have weighed in with lawmakers, and that's getting results. We have a big week next week, actually. The House Small Business Committee is going to be holding a hearing on this issue, really at our request. And it will give us an opportunity to actually showcase two witnesses, including ACEC's chair-elect, Robin Greenleaf from Massachusetts, to provide the small firm perspective on this issue. What does it really mean in the context of an actual engineering firm if this is applied the way we think the Federal Highway Administration intends for it to apply, which would be a disaster. It would end up taking the entire loan away from firms and in a worst case scenario, actually take more away from them than what they took in a loan. So she will be testifying before the committee. We also have another member of ours, Carlos Panin, a small firm owner from Florida, who is a constituent of Congresswoman Maria Salazar of Florida. She's the ranking Republican on the panel that will be doing the hearing for us. And so the two of them will be offering perspectives. I think they have a couple of other witnesses as well. But this will be a great opportunity to showcase our issue before lawmakers and use that as a way of getting the attention of a broader audience in Congress and, quite frankly, the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration to focus on a fix. And then we learned very recently, we've been talking to other committees, including Chairman Peter DeFazio, who chairs the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. And it looks like he's going to be holding a hearing next week showcasing the administration's priorities with respect to infrastructure this coming year. Secretary Pete Buttigieg will be the star witness. And we've been told that the chairman will raise this issue for us directly with the secretary during that hearing. And so here again is really just another opportunity to draw attention by the federal regulators, because this is a very transportation specific, or a very transportation focused, I should say, problem. Really heighten their awareness to the importance of fixing this problem. As you know, we continue to advocate for a waiver of this FAR provision as it applies to PPP loans. We think it's a misalignment. But at the minimum, we would like to work very closely with the agency to make sure that if this has to be carried out and implemented, that it's done in a way that is fair to the firms, that protects the firms, and is very, very limited in scope.
Yeah, and again, just like you said, this has been one of our top priorities for a number of weeks. Really, been the central focus of advocacy, in addition to the regular push that we're doing on infrastructure. And having two shots at the apple in the same week is something that doesn't happen a lot in Washington. First off, of course, the small business hearing, the subcommittee on infrastructure and contracting which you mentioned is going to be happening on Tuesday, the 23rd at noon. And all the information on that hearing, where Robin and Carlos will be testifying, is up on the Small Business Committee homepage. If you go to smallbusiness.house.gov and navigate over to the 23rd on the committee calendar, you'll see the information there. And you'll also be able to take a look at the subcommittee roster that for that subcommittee and see who is representing you on that subcommittee and reach out and talk to them. We always say that our members are our best spokespeople because you live and breathe this on a daily basis, and you have an opportunity to tell your story if the FAR credits clause is affecting your business, if it's something that is concerning you. Being able to put that context in front of the member who represents you is critical to helping this get more attention. And then, of course, Steve, what you mentioned about T&I, that is a big hearing. That is really the first time that the new secretary, we did it with, I remember I was on the committee, and Secretary Chow came in for her kickoff hearing. And it's really that first introductory hearing where the secretary can lay out the administration's proposals and really their agenda for the coming year. And it's the first shot for that committee to ask questions. And if we're able to get a question asked, either on the record in front of full committee or in writing, that's a significant thing because it gets people on record, not just once, but then, of course, earlier in the week with small business. So, really important news on that front. But then again, you've been sending out letters as well. I mean, this is something which you've been working on, the normal advocacy work, sending out letters, getting our position out, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jeff. And the point you made about that grassroots engagement is really spot on. Our members have been terrific lobbyists on this issue. I think some of the most important and most effective meetings that we've had with lawmaker offices have included actual members. Robin Greenleaf has participated in some of these meetings. In fact, seeing her in action in a meeting with Senator Elizabeth Warren's office inspired us to use her as our witness, as one of our witnesses for the Small Business Committee hearing next week. So that kind of engagement, it's one thing to hear from the DC lobbyists. They know us, they know the organization. But what really gets their attention is when they start hearing from constituents and the state organizations, and it just drives home the idea that no, this is a real issue and this impacts people that I represent in Washington. And when they hear in graphic detail how businesses will be hurt if this is handled the wrong way. That goes a long way to getting them on board to supporting us. So we're going to be doing some additional things in the coming weeks to get lawmakers, more engaged in putting pressure on U.S. DOT and federal highways to work with us and fix this problem. And next week's hearings will be a great kickoff to that broader effort.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the kind of the switching from kind of the run quiet, run deep, but make sure you're doing everything from the staff perspective, from the committee perspective, with your letters, your general boots on the ground advocacy, into more of a public facing effort. And I would really encourage any of our members out there who feel strongly about this to also let us know if you can boil this down into a tweet, if you can boil this down into a short message that says, real world, this is what it means to me, send that to us because we want to be able to get that out publicly to the people that matter in the agencies on the Hill who really have a part to play in this. So, send it by email, send it to us online as a direct message. Um, just boil it down and tell us real world what it means to you, and we can get that out there. So be part of our public advocacy effort. We encourage you to do so.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a terrific idea. By the way, The PPP program was incredibly successful in its core purpose, which was to keep people employed.
Yeah.
And to the extent that firms are forced to give that money back, if they're going to potentially be in a position where they have to lay staff off as a
Hmm.
result, and unfortunately, we've heard from firms who could face that very difficulty. I mean, to the extent that they can make that point in their own outreach to lawmakers and through social media, I think that sends a very powerful message.
Yeah, I think an issue like this, and it's this isn't singularly, unique in this respect. But I mean, if you run a business, you know this. You live and breathe this on a daily basis. It gets very technical and it gets in the weeds. It's an issue related to the FAR, and only a handful of people, outside of Washington or engaged in public contracting know what the FAR is. It's not the kind of issue that you can easily, you know, tailor into a really popular message, right? The way that we can get movement on this is to contextualize it and to show the real world effects. And if you're a business owner and you can tell us something that really matters, that Main Street kind of impact, that helps us push the ball down the field, because even the members that are on the committee, they're not. You can't assume that they're 100% conversant on everything here. So any way we can make them go, I understand it now. I get what this means. That helps us. So, engage with Steve, engage with Matt on our team, with our department in communications. It's a great opportunity to get involved. So, yeah, it's just one of those unique issues.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Steve, thank you very much for that update. Again, keep up with what we're working on here, because this is going to be one step in a multi-step process, and we are making progress. So, we will keep you informed on this program through our advocacy communications, online member communications. You'll be hearing a lot more. So, again, this has been your government affairs update for March 19th, 2021. Right here from ACEC to you. We'll see you next time.